Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Today we'll be studying about narrative writing. There are four basic types of writing: narrative, descriptive, expository, and argumentative. Today we'll be discussing what narrative writing is, what is its structure, the format, features, tips, and techniques of writing narrative essays. In this lesson, you will find overview of narrative writing, its definition, structure, elements, techniques, tips, a sample narrative essay, and criteria for narrative writing. Narrative, telling stories and anecdotes, forms an important part of our everyday communication. This lesson is aimed at developing the ability to write narrative essays. A narrative essay is a type of essay that has a single motive or a central point around which the whole narrative revolves. All incidents, happenings, and characters revolve around a single motive presented in the narrative. A narrative essay has three main parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. In the introduction, there should be a hook, the grabber, a thesis statement, and a clear description of why the topic is significant. An overview of setting, background, and key people involved should also be given. Moreover, some semblance of foreshadowing is also required in introduction. In the body, there should be an onset of event, the climax, conflict, the rising action, and the resolution or the ending. In the conclusion, you should be able to tell what was the moral of the story, how was the event significant, and what is call to action. These are the narrative writing elements: exposition, where you introduce characters and setting. Then one or more character is in crisis. Then there is rising action. Then climax, which is the point of highest tension or emotion. Then there is falling action. And finally, resolution of character's crisis, and thus all loose ends tied up. There are some narrative writing techniques. These are brainstorming, drafting, revising, editing, and making final copy. In the brainstorming, it's important to graphically organize your narrative by giving answers of 5 W's. This is an example of a graphic organizer. Another example. Number 2, drafting the narrative. Narrative essays that are written in the first person are mostly well received. Remember your role as the storyteller. Don't skimp out on the small details. The best way to start writing narrative is a thought-provoking statement. When revising a narrative essay, writers will read, modify, and reformat their paper with the main objective of creating the best. Editing. This is the part of the process where you will reread your narrative and correct any errors. Creating the final copy. Given the personal nature of narrative essays, sharing it with readers can be daunting, but is almost always worth it. There are a number of narrative writing tips. Some of these are shared here. Number 1, always start a narrative essay with either a question or a verifiable fact. Number 2, always describe events in chronological order. Number 3, use varying sentence structure. Number 4, avoid using slang. Number 5, Try to be as descriptive as possible. Number 6, use flashback technique or foreshadowing or third person omniscient point of view, or you can use dual narrative technique. This is a narrative writing sample, personal narrative, and the marking criteria. Hope you understood the format, features, elements, and techniques of writing narrative essays. Thank you.